The following are the three things that we are going to see as part of lesson 1. Number 1. Setting up necessary software tools for writing Java programs, writing our first program, compiling it, executing it using simple text editor, writing the same program again using Apache NetBeans. Of course, we don't rewrite it, we will simply copy paste it, but this time we will be using Apache NetBeans IDE. Upon completion of these 3 points, we'll end up our lesson 1. Setting up software environment. So easy. We are going to use 2 softwares. One is JDK and other is Apache NetBeans. That's all. Only 2. JDK is the Java software. Once after installing Java software, there should be some place we have to write our programs, right? So there are 2 places. One is simple text editor, but we should not prefer simple text editor. We have to prefer IDE. That IDE is Apache NetBeans. So you don't have to install a simple text editor because it's an inbuilt tool that is available in every operating system. For an example, Notepad is a simple text editor. In Windows operating system, by default, you will have that. But we cannot use simple text editor. We have to use IDE because IDEs are more powerful. There are so many IDEs like Eclipse, Code Blocks. There are so many IDEs, but the most powerful, highly sophisticated IDE for Java programming is Apache NetBeans. So make sure that we are going to use Apache NetBeans for our entire lectures. So these 2 softwares, you have to download it, you have to install it. As part of this video, I'm not going to tell you how to download it and how to install it because that is the easiest thing that you could do without anybody's help. In case if you wanted to download and install JDK, go to official website Oracle because Oracle is the owner of Java. Go to the Oracle's website. Since Java is open source and free, without any license, you can download it. Okay, you can download it. You need not to pay. It's a free and open source. Download it. Download the .exe file and install it. That's all. In case if you are Linux user like Ubuntu or Linux Mint or Fedora, you will have an appropriate file. Download it. And you don't have to install it because it's a tar file. Extract it and place it wherever you want. That's all. Your Java is available. Number 2, Apache NetBeans. This time, go to Apache NetBeans website, official website. And there, in case of Windows, you please download the .exe file and install it. And in case of Linux or in case of Linux Ubuntu users or Fedora users, download based on the appropriate distribution that you are having. Download it, just install it. The most important topic as part of this lesson is setting class path. Once after installing Java and Apache NetBeans, the things are not over. You have to set the class path. Every Java developer should know how to set the class path. So what is the importance of this class path we are going to see. Setting class path depends upon the type of operating system that you are having. So I don't know whether you are Windows user or Linux user. So for both types of users, I am going to discuss how to set the class path. In case of Windows user, please go to the location where you have installed the Java. So most of the applications gets installed in a folder called as program files under your C drive. Go to the location, open your Java folder, open JDK folder. Under JDK, you can find bin. So I'll show you the location just by zooming in. Bin location, you please copy them. So why you have to copy that location? Because you are going to paste that location somewhere else. Because the applications like you could see some files under this bin folder like Java, Java C, jar, Java P. All these are applications, means batch files. These applications you have to run under command prompt or in different environment. So as to tell your computer, my command of Java C or Java or jar is available in so and so location. You have to paste this value, the location value under path variable. This is called as setting the class path. Alright, so where you need to paste this value? So simple. Go to my computer, right click your my computer, open system properties. Then you will get this pop-up window. Under this pop-up window, click on environment variables. There are 2 types of environment variables. One is user variables and other is system variables. So here you need to create one variable called as path. In my case, this variable is already created. In case if you do not have this path variable, you need to create. If you have already one, then you have to edit it. Once after editing, you simply paste the value that you have already copied. That's all. So easy. Your setting class path under Windows is done now. That's all. Now we have seen how to set the class path under Windows. For Linux also we have to follow the same rules. Linux users, please go to the location where you have extracted your JDK folder. Go to that location, open up to bin folder and copy that location. As in the way I have copied up to Windows, up to bin folder, you have to copy that location. That copied value we need to paste somewhere else. Where we need to paste, that I am going to show you. I am already using Ubuntu related Linux Mint operating system. So here I will show you how to set class path in case of Linux distributions. Open your terminal. Please type the command gedit etc environment. Hopefully you should have copied the location of JDK up to bin folder. Okay, that copied value we have to paste in a file called as environment. Environment is a file name. We are editing this file using a command called as gedit. Gedit means graphical editor. Using that graphical editor, we are going to edit this file and we are going to paste the value here, right here. In case if path is a variable, if it is not already available, the copied value that I have pasted here, you can see the highlighted value. This is a place where the value that I have copied, I have pasted here. In the same way, you can have multiple values for path variables. All multiple values of path variables have to be separated using colon. So in my case, you can see so many values are there. Every value is separated using a colon like this. Okay, that's all. Now we are done with setting class path. In both the cases, in case if your class path is properly set, in both the cases, Windows or Linux, open your command prompt or terminal and please type Java C and version. You should be able to see the version that you have downloaded and installed. So in case Java version, the same version. Java C is a command that is used for compilation. Java is a command that is used for executing the programs. These two are two different things. Java C is compilation. Java means execution. Alright. We are done. Alright. We have seen how to set class path in both the platforms, Windows as well as Linux. Now we are going to see how to write our first program and how to compile it, how to compile and how to execute it. We can write our Java program in two places. One is simple text editor and number two, Apache NetBeans. Using simple text editor is not a good idea, but even though it is not a good idea, but we need to learn how manually it could be done. The process we need to know. That's why we need to learn. And number two is using Apache NetBeans or Eclipse, any IDE, but the most powerful IDE is, as I told, Apache NetBeans. We'll use Apache NetBeans. We'll try to execute the same program using Apache NetBeans. Right. First point, how to write our program and execute using simple text editor. The following things we are going to do. We are going to open a simple text editor like Notepad. We'll write our program in text editor. So as part of this lesson, I am not going to demonstrate the commands of Java programming language. You don't have to internally look at the program, what is there inside. It is not necessary as part of lesson 1. In upcoming lessons, you will start learning the programming. But in this lesson, in order to execute a program, I require one small program. For that reason, I'll be writing one small program. That program has to be compiled first of all. Before execution, there is a process called as compilation. In case if your program do not have any syntax errors, compilation will be successful. Upon successful completion of compilation, we'll try to execute the program. For compiling your Java program, Java C command is used. For executing the program, Java command is used. Come on, let's do it now. Alright, look at here. This is my first Java program. So the extension you can see Java program.java. Every Java file should have an extension with .java. As in the way for songs you will have .mp3 as an extension. In the same way, Java files will have a .java as an extension. And this program is already written by me in a simple text editor. Just like it's a simple text editor, just like Notepad in case of Windows. This is gedit because I'm using a Linux operating system. Open your Notepad, write this simple program. I'm not going to talk too much about this program because I'm going to compile it and execute it directly. But before I do that, I'll just have a little talk about it. Look at here, upon execution of this program, I'm going to print hello world as an output. Okay. So there are two important things that you need to remember as part of this program. Every Java program has some set of classes, and inside each class there could be any number of functions. So in our case, I have written only one class. That class name is first program. Under this class there is a function called as main function. Under this function, main function, there is an output function called as system.out.println. So upon executing this particular program, this statement will be executed and hello world will be printed, because println is an output function, and always the execution of Java program starts from the main function. So there should be at least one main function in order to execute your Java program, because the execution has to start at some point. That some point is main function. In every Java program, it is mandatory to have a Java main function. If in case if you wanted to execute that particular Java program, there should be a main function, because the execution always starts from main function. And every executable statement should end with a semicolon, right? So rest of the things we can see later on, because the only point that I wanted to demonstrate is that upon executing this particular program, the output that is going to be generated is hello world. That's all. So to execute this program, before we need to compile it. Let's compile it and execute it. And one important thing, the name of the public class and the name of your file should be the same one. Because if you have observed, my file name is firstprogram.java and here the class name is also first program, because after successful compilation, you know that computers can understand and execute only the binary codes, that means executables written in binary information, zeros and ones, machine level code. So after compilation, if compilation is successful, a binary code, also called as byte code, is generated, and the name of that byte code will be the class name, the public class name, but will not be the file name. Because of this reason, it's better to keep our file names and class names the same one. In my case, the file name of this particular program is firstprogram.java and class name is first program. Okay, so please remember this point. Let your public class name and file name should be the same one. Let these two be the same name. Okay, fine. Now come on, let's compile and execute the program. Open your terminal. Open your terminal, because since my file is located in desktop, I'll go to desktop and there I'll use the command javac first program.java. Since there is no syntax error that is made in that particular simple program, my compilation is successful. Upon compilation, I already told you bytecode will be generated on the same. So on the same desktop, you can see first program.class. This is called as bytecode, an executable. You cannot read that file because it's a machine code. Now we'll use this particular file for execution. Compilation is already done. During execution, this file has to be used. If you have observed, the file name for this executable is given as first program. This first program is the name of the class. So to avoid that conflict, let's keep our file names and class names, public class names, the same one. Now I'll use the command java first program. You could see the output as hello world. So the execution is successful. So this is one way of writing our Java programs and executing them using simple text editor. I don't restrict you, we could use this way also, but this is not an appropriate way. The right way of writing our programs and executing them using Apache NetBeans. We need to execute using Apache NetBeans. Alright, we have seen how to write program, compile it and execute it using simple text editor, but here onwards we won't be using simple text editor. So as to tell you how to use javac command and java command when you have written some program using simple text editor, the topic is discussed. But here onwards we'll be using everything. That means every program will be written in an IDE called as Apache NetBeans. Okay, let's start executing the same program using Apache NetBeans. Welcome to Apache NetBeans IDE. Upon successful download and installation, if you have opened the Apache NetBeans, this is the first screen that you will see. Okay, so here very important thing. Please listen carefully. Look at here. You need to activate the features. Go to the activate features and list of all facilities that are available, features available in NetBeans, Apache NetBeans will be shown here. They are by default, they are not activated. You have to activate them manually. Please click on all these things and click on activate. In my case, I have already activated. So in case I need not to reactivate them, in your case, you have to activate them. If you do not activate, then you cannot use Java in Apache NetBeans. In Apache NetBeans, not only Java programming, you could also do the other programmings like PHP and other programming. So many programming languages it supports, but it best supports the Java programming language. Okay, so make sure that you activate all these features before you start up your program. And once after activating the features, okay, so go to the file and create a new project. Under new project, you please select any name, and please keep on pressing this next and finish. That's all. A new project is created for you. In my case, the project I have created is demo. Under demo, I have created one program called as firstprogram.java. So creating firstprogram.java is very simple. That means in case if you wanted to create any .java file, right click on it. Okay. So new Java class. That's all. Give the class name, write the program. That's all. Very simple. In my case, that I have already done. So this is the firstprogram.java. This is a program that we have already executed using simple text editor. Now we are going to execute using Apache NetBeans. Come on, execute it. So in this case, you see the power of NetBeans is that it's very beautiful, very nice, good looking IDE. And while typing any program, you know, for an example, if I wanted to type any keyword of Java, then automatic suggestion will come, and most of the development time can be reduced, because if you use a simple text editor, there won't be any suggestion keywords that will be displayed while typing. But in case of Apache NetBeans or Eclipse, if you use a proper IDE while typing any reserved keywords, you don't have to type anything else. I mean, immediately that keyword will come, just like Google search. Okay, so there is a beautiful navigation and beautiful suggestions inside Apache NetBeans. It's a powerful tool for Java. So make sure that you use only this one, and executing it, you don't have to use the commands like Java C command or Java command. You don't have to do any commanding things. Okay, directly right click, run the file. That's all. In our case, now we have already done, build is successful, and you could see this hello world is the output that is generated.